Sewing Masks and Discovering Human Nature by Helen Cheng Mao. In March 2020, other sewers in my town and I banded together to use material from the community to make cloth face masks for local hospitals, doctors' offices, nursing homes, and other places with essential workers. Sewing provided a relaxing escape from the pandemic and an excuse to binge watch Netflix. Then, on April 3rd, 2020, the CDC recommended that everyone wear a mask. One woman, I'll call her Jane, offered to donate fabric, but only if I sewed a few masks for her, which I did. Later, she offered me a spool of elastic and I eagerly accepted. Then she blurted, "By the way, my neighbor and her kids need masks. Can you sew another 6?" What could I say? She had just given me lots of elastic, which, like toilet paper, was a hard-to-find hot commodity at the time. So I agreed. Since everyone needed a mask now, Jane suggested I sell, not give away, masks that I made from fabric and elastic donated by other people. She volunteered to be my salesman and line up customers. I was irritated to learn that a few mask makers use the donated materials to sew masks for sale. But maybe they'd lost their jobs during the pandemic and needed money. Hi. Luckily, my spouse and I were still employed. But I didn't want to turn my mask operation into a business. I thanked her for her offer to be my dealer, but said I needed to focus on essential workers. She replied, "Speaking of essential workers, can you make 50 masks from my town's fire department? Make them, but don't deliver them to the firehouse. Bring them here. I'll take them down to the firehouse myself to show them my appreciation for rescuing my cat from a tree last year." Was she serious? I hadn't had a chance to sew masks for my town's fire department or even my family yet. I thanked her for all the elastic and fabric she gave me and proposed, "Since I can't make masks for you to sell or donate and take credit for, why don't I return whatever I didn't use? Maybe you can find someone else who'll sew masks for you to sell and for you to give your fire department. After a pause, Jane told me to keep everything, thanked me for the masks I made her, and never contacted me again. Whew! The pandemic proved so many cliches. No good deed goes unpunished. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. Tough times bring out the best and the worst in people. People are selfless and think of others. People are selfish and think only of themselves. These sayings are all true. I found that people want to help others, but they also need to survive. Generosity and self-preservation go hand in hand. It's hard to feel generous if you are trying to survive. But if you have what you need to survive, you have enough to be generous to others.